Hello. Okay. Hi, my name is Nathan. I guess I still am, a Four Diamonds child. I am also a survivor. A little over 5.5 years in remission since the end of the My story starts out with a headache, 7th grade, end of the year. The year's come to the end, and all I'm thinking about is what I'm going to do over the summer, who I'm going to hang out with, where I'm going to go. And all of a sudden, I can't think about that. All I'm thinking about is this pounding headache that I have, and this nausea, this vertigo. I spin my head, and my brain just keeps going, and I just can't think about anything. And one morning, the pain is bad enough that I'm sitting at the dining room table trying to eat breakfast, and I'm crying, and my mom says, "This isn't right. We're going to go to the ER." And so we go to the ER, and we get there, and the doctor says, "I know what this is. This is a migraine. There's 2 kinds of migraines. There's this kind, and there's that kind. You got this kind." So I got a whole bunch of IV fluids, took a nice nap, went home, no headache. And all was good for about a week. Middle of the week, first week of summer camp, I'm playing ping pong. All of a sudden, I got a pounding headache again. And the next morning, I go to get up, and I just can't get out of bed. And the light's hurting my eyes, and my dad pins up a blanket to stop the light from coming in, and I don't get out of bed all day. Finally, end of day comes around, my mom comes home, and I throw up. She says, "This isn't right." So we go to the ER again. I say, "All right, well, let's give you a CAT scan." And so you do a CAT scan, we're waiting for results, and it's not funny now, but it was really funny then. We were sitting there, we just watched Kindergarten Cop, and the big line from Kindergarten Cop is, "Well, it's not a tumor." And so then 30 minutes later, we're sitting in the ambulance because they said, "We got to send you to Hershey for an MRI." And the paramedic says, "You got a mass the size of your golf ball in your head." The joke really wasn't funny before. But it's funny now, which is nice. So we go, I get an MRI, and I think that was like on a Wednesday. And so then I do the MRI, and they say, "All right, well, so Friday you're going to have surgery." They wanted to get it out as quick as possible. It was blocking the flow of spinal fluid, and that was building pressure and causing the headaches. So I get the surgery, I have a week of recovery, and then I go home. And it's just like I'm chilling. I'm not doing anything. I'm not worried about anything. I'm just, watching YouTube, whatever you do as a 13-year-old kid. And so we get a diagnosis. It takes about 2 weeks, maybe 3. They had to send it off for a second opinion. And so they say, "All right, you had Ewing's sarcoma." And so for this, in your age, we're going to have 5.5 weeks of radiation and 34 rounds of chemo. And to the untrained ear, you might think, "Oh, well, you had 5.5 weeks of radiation, so 34 rounds means 34 weeks," which is what I thought. And so I look at the calendar while we're in the little room there, and I'm looking at the calendar, and I'm like, "Nice, I'm going to get back to school in March, before my birthday. This is great." And that's not how it works. So it ended up being 54 weeks. I had the radiation and everything really fun that comes along with that, like radiation burns, and I had radiation burns. It was like a big, nice racing stripe down my front and back, and a whole bunch. I had it in my throat too. It was really fun. I had to get sent home on IV fluids because I didn't drink anything. And then the chemo, everything all bad comes along with that. I lose my hair, which was funny because I didn't feel it when it came out, squealing and disgusted because it's funny for me. So I just did it a whole bunch. But then I shaved, and it's been like this for 5.5 years. If I grow out, it gets a little bit, but it's whatever. The ladies like the ball. It's more aerodynamic, and I don't have to dry myself off and just go, and it's all good. Throughout the whole chemo and the whole cancer thing, we were paired with E-House, Engineering House, and we did a whole bunch of fun things. I came up a couple times. I think we went to the 5K, and I was like really worried I was gonna have to run. And they're like, no, you don't have to run. And so we did a whole bunch of things, and unfortunately, miscommunication on my part was my fault. We kind of stopped doing things, and after that year, I didn't really think about Thon or 4 Diamonds. It just was like the cancer kid. And then we had a mini-thon in high school, and I did that and was just attended. But then in senior year, I got involved, and I did Thon Factor, which is X Factor, but Thon, and I won, and I was like, man, that was fun. I should have done that more. And so I come to college, I go to Penn College of Technology, it's a Penn State affiliate, the Williamsport campus. So we have a PCT benefiting Thon, and so I go, and funnily enough, the president there went to CV, and so does like everyone else apparently. You can't go anywhere without meeting someone from CV or Mechanicsburg area. And so we're chatting, and he says, you know what, this is a really small club, and you're like the perfect person to run this, so you can have the presidency next year. And I said, great. And then this year when I was being the president, I said, because running an organization is very much more difficult than it looks like from the outside. I have no idea how all of you guys do such a large thing as students. I barely did it in my little club of 10 people. I don't know how. It's just really impressive. And through that, I got to be a dancer, which is, I don't know how many of you have danced, but if you haven't danced, you cannot understand what it is like to be a dancer. Just literally speechless. There's literally no way to describe it. I was up for, well, they say you're up for 46 hours, but really I was up for 52 hours because I had to be up before, and then it was really great sleeping for 17 hours straight. Just, I got in the car, out, and then all of a sudden I'm back in my dorm, and then all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock the next morning. Really great. And it's really amazing to me how all of this is possible, and that you have all these people that donate their time, their money, their resources to Thon and 4 Diamonds, and if it weren't for people that do that, I would not be here. And I really believe that, because people will say to me, oh, you're really strong for going through that, or like, you're brave, and no. I was just a 13-year-old kid sitting in a hospital bed watching YouTube for a year and reading books. That's all I did. I didn't do anything else. I just was a sheep, and people shepherded me around. That's how I survived cancer. The doctors knew what to do. They told the nurses. The nurses gave me the chemo drugs and did all the radiation, and I had family members who drove me back and forth, and I had friends who visited me in the hospital. I didn't do anything. It was all of you in this room. That is why I am here, and I want to say thank you to all of you for everything that you do in any capacity for Thon. And yeah, it's just crazy. It's such a great thing, and I'm really glad to be here, and I'm going to say thank you one more time. Thank you.